welcome to First 11, our YouTube channel. On this channel, we'll talk about football. We preview, review, and give updates on football-related matters. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share all our posts. Thank you very much. I have with me today Coach Johnny. Coach Johnny will be reviewing the UEFA Champions League final between Inter and PSG along with me today. So we'll be talking about Inter and the PSG match that was played on Saturday. PSG came on top in that game. They won the game by 5-0. It was a total annihilation. It was the dismantling of Inter Milan. Unbelievable results. So I have with me here today Coach Johnny. He will be analyzing the match with me. Coach Johnny, what do you think about the match on Saturday? I know you supported PSG, and I'm glad and happy that all what you said in our last preview, they all came to pass. So what is your opinion on the match that went down today?
Okay, it's a nice one, and I'm so happy to be here again. And thank you for the opportunity. Quickly, I wasn't really supporting PSG. That's the thing. The thing is, I am not someone who loves PSG as a team. So I love the coach. I love a few players there, but I'm not someone who probably would just want to support PSG. And I think I even like Inter. I think Inter is a team I would like more than PSG. But the truth is, looking at that match and looking at the style of play and looking at one represents good football and then there's another one who doesn't want to, and seeing the Italian teams, knowing how they always behave and the character of the PSG side, the force of their attack, I think it just made sense to me to say that PSG were going to win. And I know I was laying emphasis on the fact that it was going to be so easy. But even though I was saying it was going to be so easy, I didn't expect it to get to that. I think in my mind, probably I was thinking it was going to be a 2-0 or a 3-0 victory. That's what I had in mind. But when I was saying it was so easy, there was a level I was saying to in my mind. I was looking at one of those matches where PSG goes there, scores the goal in the first half, dominates Inter Milan, and then you are thinking Inter Milan is going to do something, and in the second half, they score another goal towards the 80-something minute, and everybody knows it's finished. And then the Champions League final is just done and dusted. There is no hype, there is nothing in it. That was the kind of match I was looking at. That was what it was. But then the scoreline was just what was different. Come on, 5 goals in a final. When was the last time we saw something like that?
Oh my God, 21 years ago. Barcelona against AC Milan.
Oh my God, no,
it was 4-0. Oh
and
my
again,
God.
an Inter side who everyone regarded as a very good defensive side. I think no one saw that coming as well.
Yes, in that game, I think that PSG, they came up with a very good game plan. If you watch the game, all the goals, did you see a PSG player? Do you see them shooting shot outside the 18-yard box? No, because they know that Jan Sommer will parry the ball. You see them, they came very close to the goalkeeper and just tap and net it because they discovered the lapses of Barcelona and what Barcelona failed to do. And they corrected that against Inter, So it was an unbelievable result. I actually expected a contest in that game. But at the end of the day, there was no contest. Within 20 minutes of that game, I said, no. PSG, they've won this game because there was no contest in that game. And Inter Milan, they couldn't really find their rhythm in that game throughout. They kept on chasing the ball, and PSG, they had the ball. You actually said in our last preview, you said that PSG, they are going to be the one doing the playing while Inter Milan will sit back. And that was exactly what happened. They sat back all through the game. So I was expecting Inter to counter them. We said that will PSG be bold enough to pressurize Inter? But it was all pressure from the blast of the whistle till the end of the whistle. It was all pressure. And if you observe very well, on 90 minutes, the referee blew the whistle. There was no additional time.
No.
Because if they had added 5 more minutes, PSG will score. So just something else.
I don't want to say for PSG fans, and then some persons, I know it was very exciting, but some way, if you look at it somehow, I think it was sort of, I don't know if I should use the word, I think it was sort of a boring final.
A boring final. Well, you may call it boring final because it was one-sided. For me, it wasn't boring. I enjoyed the game.
It was so one-sided.
I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed what PSG played. Though it was one-sided, I enjoyed the game.
And I feel for Inter Milan because that's how many finals in 3 years now? 2 finals in 3 years, is it?
Yes, 2 finals in 3 years. Yes.
Finals in 3 years now, and then, oh God.
And they lost their treble. They were running.
They didn't get anyone, did they?
No.
They lost the league. They lost the cup.
They lost the cup. They lost the Champions League. Yes.
And then the AC Milan fans, did you see the welcome party they did?
Oh my God, I saw what they did. Oh my God. I saw what AC Milan fan, I saw what they did. Yeah.
I love those guys.
They were conducting a funeral of Inter Milan. Inter Milan and AC Milan, they are both arch rivals. So it's expected. It's sad. It was
my God. I love that. That's one of the best things I've ever seen in football. I love that. And he walked through the street with a coffin.
I say.
No, man, you've got to feel for Inter because everything they've had that had worked for them going through to the final, the wing backs and the midfield, the power play from Martinez and Thuram, come on, none of them was working. And I think everything flopped. And that's because of one thing I can say, and that's because of the dominance of PSG. And that's what happened with Barcelona as well. Remember, I said it was just the defensive. If you take away the defensive weakness of the Barcelona side, I think it was pretty much the same. They dominated Inter Milan as well, played good football. Lamine was everywhere. I think he's having a shot for Ballon d'Or today. That was because of the performance he put out against Inter. They had to put three in the first leg. They had to put 2 players. They started with 2 players holding Lamine alone, and then at some point in the second half of the first leg, it turned into 3. In the second leg, they had to do that as well. I think it was just the fact that Barcelona couldn't defend, and that's why I was saying because PSG are a better side defensively, better organized. I think I always felt like it was going to be an easy job for them. Hakimi running through. Oh my God! The very wings that
destroying them.
Oh my God! It was just, I think. And did you see the pressing of the PSG side as well from Dembele from the start, from the blast of the wings? They pressed Inter Milan, pressed them and kept them in their own line. Yeah. I'm not sure Inter Milan had a sequence where they could put maybe let's say 5 to 6 passes together correctly. I think it was just so no. We've never seen such dominance in the Champions League for a very, very long time.
So what did you think went wrong for Inter Milan in that game?
I think, first of all, if you look at them, if you want to believe it's fitness, I think because this is a final, it doesn't matter whether you're injured or whatever, whether the season has been crashing or whether the fatigue is there, this is a final. Everyone has to be ready. Your mindset, you're 100% ready. But let's take away the fitness level because if you looked at them that day, there was just something that wasn't right from the start, from the blast of the whistle. So I'm not going to put it on Inter Milan as to what they didn't really do. I'm going to look at it from the side of PSG. I'm linking it to what they do very well and what they did very well on that particular day. They dominate matches. I'm still saying it. Do you remember the PSG match versus Liverpool at Paris?
Yes.
They dominated Liverpool from this. It's not easy for teams to do things like that. And I'm very happy that people are beginning to understand how good Vitinha is. Come on, these guys are masters in their own. It's quite unfortunate that I'm not taking anything away from Pedri and some of these names, but there are names that people, I feel like they are not credited as much as they deserve. Come on. That's why we're looking up to Barcelona versus PSG final. What a clash it would have been. So PSG, I feel they were just so good. They knew how to press. They did their work. Their wingers were sharp. They were beating the offside traps. And then, come on, when they had their opportunities, they scored. They scored. When they had the opportunity, there were no chances. They weren't missing chances that you think would come back to haunt them. No, they had their chances. They put the ball in the back of the net. They made substitutions, and in 2 minutes, the substitute is scoring. It was just like everything was working for them. And when things work like that for team, it is not just one thing. It is everything put together, which has to do with the style, the manager, everything they've worked on. And I think they really looked refreshed. And I said it the other time that not having league matches to play, not having
But
very serious matches.
but hold on first. Don't forget that PSG before this game they also had a
A
match,
cup,
one
a
match they
cup,
played, cup final they played, yes,
a cup
over the
final.
weekend.
But you
Yes.
don't compare it with, there was no pressure apart from the cup final leading to the weeks, the league matches, there was no pressure. Unlike Inter, who were under pressure, they needed to win. They were looking at Napoli. PSG didn't have to do with all of this. Even having league matches to play, there was one thing we knew was at the back of their mind. It was just the Champions League final. It was just the Champions League. The players could relax. The coach could have afford to try so many things, make changes, try new tactics, whatever, because he knew the league was in their pocket already. But Inter Milan didn't have that luxury of time. So I think that really played a role as well. Because if you look at the Inter Milan team, it shouldn't be an excuse because this is a Champions League final. But if you look at the team very well on that day, you probably see that PSG were just a little ahead of them in terms of physique and everything.
Then there's this talk about the exit
Yeah.
of Mbappe, yes, influencing the pattern of play of PSG. That while Mbappe was there, they couldn't do most of the things that they are currently doing. That the exit of Mbappe played a role in the performance of PSG. So, what's your take on that? Do you think
If
that
you,
the exit of Mbappe affected the PSG positively?
this is one thing I would really like to talk about. As a football coach, I've experienced this as well. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you, yes, it affected. Yes, it's a big show. And I hope and I wish people will get to see this and really understand the more why football is a team sport.
Exactly.
Football is
Football
not
is
lawn
a
tennis.
team game, yes.
Football
It's
is
a team
not
game.
table tennis. Football is a team sport. So if you have a player who is not willing to run for the team, if you have a player where it feels like we've seen so many videos on the internet when Luis Enrique was talking about so many meetings he had. When Mbappe left, it sounded crazy, but he said they were going to do better. We saw so many videos where I was trying to tell Mbappe, you need to work for the team, you need to and not fight for your personal glory. I would rather have in a team 3 players who score 10 goals than have one player who gives me 30 goals. There's always something when it's about look at the PSG guys. There's no ego. There is nobody. Everybody's running for each other.
Everybody is playing for the team.
Everybody's playing for the team, running for each other. There is no. No, come on, come on, come on. I am not saying Mbappe is a bad player. Everyone knows he's a good player, and I know it's harsh to say. I don't want to say if he was there, oh, they wouldn't have won. I know it's harsh to say, but come on, there are factors that link that. What's the difference between this PSG side and the side they had last season when Mbappe was there? And the same thing has happened to Real Madrid as well. Something else. I told people around me.
Yes,
I
yes,
said
yes.
I want to see how Carlo Ancelotti, because if there's anybody who can handle this amongst the coaches we currently have, it is Carlo Ancelotti. He has proven to be a coach who knows how to play with stars. I want to see how he will handle it. And at the end of the season, he still wasn't able to handle it. You have a Vinicius who's playing in the left wing, who has just, I don't want to say win the Ballon d'Or, because he gave a performance that was Ballon d'Or worthy, had the best year of his life, playing so well in the left wing. And then you have an Mbappe who is so good coming in as well. Who are you going to give up for the other? Someone has to give up for the other. And then there's a whole issue of pride. And we saw so many of these clashes in between the seasons. Sometimes Mbappe scores, Vinicius is not happy. Sometimes they don't want to make passes. Sometimes they are running into each other. Mbappe wants to be on the left wing. Vinicius wants to be on the left wing. How many? You're sorting all of this week in, week out. Barcelona is running away with the league. How many weeks do you have to sort all of this? So I think it's always a problem. I still want to see how that issue is going to be solved. Having Mbappe and Vinicius in the same team, one has to go to the middle. And if there's any among them who can do that, it's Mbappe. But then there's always this thing about ego. Am I swapping wings because of Vinicius? Is he better than me? Why do I have to be the one swapping? I've coached I know players who are very good on the left, and then you see them. There's this coach, I don't want to play in the middle. This is my position. They know the other guy is good. It's up to you as a coach to make a decision. You have to sacrifice one for the other. At this stage, with Mbappe and Vinicius, come on, that's a big one. So with PSG as well, one of the best things that could happen to them was having Mbappe leave the club. There was this sense of fresh air. Everyone feels like, oh, they're important. There's no star power. Everyone is working for the team. Dembele is defending. He's pressing as well. These are some of the little keys that causes changes in the team. And so I really do support. And I feel that, yes, PSG has improved this much because there's a certain number 10 who left.
PSG. Mbappe left PSG, and PSG started performing wonderfully well. Then Mbappe went to Real Madrid.
Who won the Champions League?
They could not compete in the Champions League. They crashed out. In the Spanish league, they couldn't compete. So I don't know. So it appears that Mbappe, it appears probably is the problem. But Mbappe has more than 40 goals in this current season.
That's the point. That's the point. Remember when Manchester United signed Ronaldo? If a Chelsea fan walked up to me and said, "Oh, Manchester United has signed Ronaldo," that he's scared, Manchester United are going to win the league. Ronaldo. I told him, I said, listen, Manchester United is not going to do well. Manchester United is still not going to win the league. But Ronaldo is going to get 30 goals at the end of the season. Ronaldo is going to get 20 goals plus. He's going to score. That's the thing with this. When you have stuff like this, there are players who, it is more about themselves. Yes, they score 40 goals, but what is your team winning? Are you getting the trophy? Ronaldo came into Manchester. He's going to score the goals. He's going to give you the goals. But then the team generally is not going to click. And that's what's important at the end. Is the whole team clicking. Football is not an individual game. It's a team sport. People need to know that just because you are scoring doesn't mean the team is doing so well. So Mbappe can, even in Real Madrid, I think La Liga, he's a European top scorer. Of course, he's topped La Liga and he scored very well. But then ask a Real Madrid fan, which would you prefer at the end of the day? Have Mbappe win the top scorer, win the Ballon d'Or, or have Real Madrid winning trophies, winning matches? Everyone is probably going to tell you, I'd rather my team win matches than one player wins everything and then the team doesn't win. Football is a team sport at the end.
It is. Football is a team sport. I'm happy for Luis Enrique and PSG team, because the
Allianz Arena always produces new winners.
I give that to you. You said so. I thought you were just being superstitious. You said that Allianz Arena always producing new winners. Always producing new winner. And Allianz Arena gave us a new winner.
Let's hope for Arsenal. Let's hope Arsenal will get their chance when next the Champions League final is going on there.
Yes. But do you think that if Barcelona, if they had beaten Inter Milan, do you think they would have done better against PSG?
Honestly, I wouldn't say they would have won, but of course, we all know we would have had a better final. It would have been Barcelona would have scored goals. You can't take that away from them.
It would have been more competitive.
We would have had a very I imagine, I feel like there should be a friendly match. No, there should be a Champions League match between these two sides, because these are two teams who like to dominate the football. They like to dominate. The midfield is strong. I want to see how it turns out. I want to see that possession. I want to see both teams. Come on. If we had a Barcelona PSG final, it would have been much more competitive. Maybe PSG would have carried the day again because of their defense, which is better than that of Barcelona. But then it would have been a thrilling.
There would have been a strong contest.
Oh, yes.
But for me, I was disappointed with Inter Milan, though I wanted the PSG to win, but at least I was expecting a contest. It was completely one-sided game.
From the first half to the end.
Yeah. Dear viewers, we thank you for listening and tuning in to our channel. Thank you very much. And we have come to the end of today's review on the UEFA Champions League final between PSG and Inter Milan. PSG, they won the Champions League last Saturday by defeating Inter Milan by 5-0. So PSG, they are the new champions of the UEFA Champions League. Congratulations to all PSG fans. So please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share all our posts. Please don't forget to subscribe. You don't need to pay for our subscription. Just click on the subscribe button. That is all. Thank you very much. Help our channel to grow. Thank you and goodbye.